Is the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport the most usable and versatile SUV in its class? We're going to try to answer that question today here at Holmes Honda using this radiant red with black interior CR-V. Obviously fully redesigned for the 2023 model year. There are a lot of changes. It is more focused on hybrid than it has been in the past. And we're going to take a look at exactly what you can expect to find if this is something you want to buy. If you're wondering about changes to size, yes, it is a little bit bigger. And I know there's going to be people out there, I've had them say in the past, that I'm wrong about this. Just do your research, folks, and you'll find out that wheelbase, which is measured from the center of one tire to the center of the other, increases by 1.6 inches. Yes, people have told me that's not what wheelbase is, but it is. The overall length from bumper to bumper, I don't think anybody will argue that, increases by 2.7 inches. And the overall width of the CR-V for 2023 increases by a scant 0.4 inches, so a tick under half an inch. And obviously more squared off than it's been before, but it looks aggressive yet sporty at the same time. Gonna have that more squared off front end, but I like the stance. It looks really nice. We're going to have the LED daytime running lights, LED headlights. Everything here is going to be LED. We're gonna have the air curtain right here that allows air to flow through the front end and help to decrease drag, improving aerodynamics. The gloss back black new front grille, if I can keep from getting tongue twisted and get that out correctly, with the large Honda logo there in the center, and the lower grille. We have a little bit of gloss black in a few different areas of the vehicle. Tell me what you think about that. Do you like the gloss black? Do you not? What are your thoughts on it? Gloss black on the mirror caps, as well as the turn signal indicators built in to the power adjustable and heated but manually folding. I show this because I actually had somebody say, they left a comment on a video. I don't mean to make fun of anybody, but it is kind of funny. I said that the mirrors were manually folding, and they said, but you didn't show how to fold them. Is that really necessary? Well, hopefully not. There is what the remote looks like for 2023. Small, compact, light, but definitely going to get the job done. It's sturdy. You do have remote start. And to break things up so there's not too much gloss black here, we're going to have the chrome trim surrounding the windows, the nice dark tint. Going to have the roof rails, the body colored shark fin antenna. I think that would look better if it were gloss black, but just my personal opinion. And to finish things off as far as the top of the vehicle goes, the rear roof spoiler. Not just there for cosmetic purposes, but it helps air to literally flow over the rear window. So when you're driving down the road, it keeps the rear window from getting dirty. But when the rear window is dirty or when it's raining, you have that rear window wiper that I really would like to see Honda tuck away up there inside of that rear roof spoiler, just to clean things up a little bit. I know for the average person, that's not that big of a deal. It's just part of what I do. As being an automotive journalist and a car enthusiast, I just like those kind of things. LED taillights do finish things off. We're gonna have the CR-V logo. You're gonna have that hybrid logo down there and the Sport logo in black. A very clean look back here. We do have the exhaust finishers. To me, I like that. The exhaust finishers look appropriate back here. Some car makers that are more focused on hybrids, such as Honda is now with the CR-V and other models, they don't have those back here. And it just, in my opinion, doesn't look quite right. Let's talk about tire and wheel size. On this front wheel drive model of the CR-V hybrid, we're gonna find a width of 235. Yes, that's this area. That's what I'm talking about for those who may not know for sure. The sidewall size is going to be 60. That's good because what that does is when you hit bumps driving down the road, it does a better job of soaking those up and improving ride quality, unlike a low profile tire. And they are wrapped around the gloss black 18-inch wheels. To my knowledge, and I may be wrong about this, so somebody can help us out in the comments section because I don't know for sure, but as far as I know, this is the only Honda model that has the hood struts to help hold the hood up, to bring it up and hold it up. You don't have to go looking for the manual prop rod to put in place like you do on most Honda models. Again, for the average person, that probably doesn't mean much. But what will mean something to you is what's under the hood. The combination of the naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder and the dual electric motor hybrid powertrain. So what happens here is it's a lot better than a full EV, because when the EV end of things, the electric motors get down to a certain charge capacity, the gas motor kicks on and recharges things. That means you can keep going. And what are the horsepower numbers? 204 horsepower, 247 pounds-feet of torque, mated to an eCVT. And let's take a look at those all-important MPGs. I know that means a lot to a lot of people. So here's what we have. 43 city, 36 highway, 40 combined, and 2.5 gallons of gas is what Honda says you should use per every 100 miles you drive. And if you're wondering about kind of that flip-flop on the MPGs between city and highway, normally highway is higher. That's because when you're on the highway, you're primarily going to be using the gas motor. And here's something a little unique for you. What it sounds like from the outside, along with an undercarriage shot, when you drive this model. And people get to hear, well, what you're about to hear. If you want to tow with your CR-V, you can tow up to 1,000 pounds. And in this particular case, we don't have a power rear door, but that is available. It even has the hands-free feature where you can just kick your foot under the bumper or swipe it, whichever works. The sensor is under there to open and close that. This is dampened, very easy to open and very easy to close. And cargo capacity ranges between a maximum of 36.6 to 39.3 up to 76.5 cubic feet. Now, you're going to see some variations on that, and it all depends on whether it's a hybrid version. The Sport and the Sport Touring do not have a movable floor, as does the other trim levels of this model, the non-hybrid versions. So, depending on your situation, well, plan accordingly. We do have the LED lighting back here to help keep things nice and bright when it's after dark. The 12-volt power outlet. Got the bag hangers for groceries or whatever kind of bags people want to put in place right there. And if you want to maximize cargo space, well, that's very easy to do. We're going to come right here. We're going to pull up on the latch and down goes the seat. Obviously, you can do that on both sides on the 60-40 split rear seats. You can also, as you can see, or at least your passengers, rear seat passengers, can take a nice nap back here, get nice and comfortable because of the ability to recline the seats. And taking a look into the back seat area through the rear door, we're going to see that we have nice soft touch materials here. It may not look like it, but when you put your arm up there, it's actually very comfortable. A reasonable size door bin and quite a bit of space back here. We will have the fold down armrest with the cup holders built in. I like the positioning of the cup holders here. And why is that? Why does that really matter? Because when they're in the center like this and in more of a vertical position, that means that when there's cups in there or bottles, you can still use the armrest, as opposed if they were up here where they normally are in most vehicles. And we'll find the dual air conditioning vents and 2 USB options right there for the passengers back here. They could get an adapter and add, well, basically a third. That's one thing I'd like to see more of these car makers do. Put 3 USB ports in the back seats, because you have seating for 3 people, so I would imagine all 3 probably want to use that. No panoramic sunroof here. Tell me how important that is to you. You do have the conventional size, as you can see. And as you can see, pretty much the same setup as we saw on the rear doors with this passenger side front door, a little bit bigger. And the large door bin right there, basically the same look. And we'll take a look across the dashboard at what things look like. Basically the same look as the 11th generation of the Honda Civic. We'll open the glove box. Quite a bit of space in there, as you can see. A couple more USB options and a 12-volt power outlet available. A little bit of space up here where wireless charging would be if it was on this model. But something that I know will bring a lot of cheers out there in YouTube land, you don't have a push button shifter here. You have the conventional style shifter. Obviously, it's going to have the driving mode right here to the left, You're going to have all of your other controls that you're used to seeing there. I think cup holders and the multitasking lid for the center console that doubles as an armrest. That's why it's a multitasker. It's also the lid for the console. And you're going to have more space down in here with the center console. As far as the upper console goes, the sunglass holder, but no conversation mirror. Would you like to see that there? Tell Honda about that down in the comments section. Here's where you can control the power sunroof. We looked at that earlier. And then you can see, yep, it's a little windy today. My hair's not real happy about that. But you can see the vanity mirror here and the light. And how far back will this shade go? Or should I say sun visor? You can see that it pretty much blocks out the entirety of the window unless you're reclined way back. And if the driver wants to get real fancy behind the wheel and pretend to be a race car driver and exercise that 204 horsepower, there is the oh crap handle. There's one at every door for your passengers to grab onto in case they're saying, oh crap, you're going really fast. Here on the driver's side door, well, we have a little bit more in the way of functionality. The controls for the windows. You can lock the windows and control those heated power adjustable side view mirrors. And being that this is a front-wheel drive model, right here you can turn traction control off if you want to attempt a front-wheel drive burnout. You can drop this lever right here to adjust the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Let you listen to what happens when you get into the vehicle. We'll hit the button to start everything up. Take a look at our digital dashboard right there so that we can see what all we have. You can hit the home button right here and go through quite a few different features and gather up information about the vehicle you may want to know. Pretty easy to figure out. That's the thing I like about the technology with these Hondas. Even the redesigned models here, such as 2023 goes, you can still learn this very easily. It's very user-friendly. And the touchscreen is the same way. Super easy to use, super easy to learn, easy to pair your phone. You can go to radio, media, all that good stuff. It's all here. It's all super easy. Now you can see that we have to use a USB cable to connect our phone. Kind of disappointing on that, but it is what it is. As you can see right there, no device connected. Please connect your smartphone to USB. But it is what it is. Dual zone climate control, as you can see, we do have the heated seats. Like I said earlier, we sure don't need that in Northwest Louisiana. Now it's getting very warm, but a very easy system to use. You can sync both sides together via the button right there if you want to. And one thing I did want to point out here, in case you saw, those look like paddle shifters because they're in the same place and basically the same thing as they would be if this had a multi-speed transmission, or it was going to mimic that, changing gears with the paddle shifters through a conventional CVT. But we have the eCVT here. These are not paddle shifters. They actually control the regenerative braking, so you can increase or decrease how that works. It's basically using kinetic energy to recharge the hybrid system here. So if you're wondering about that, that's what that is. And one more thing here before we get on the road for our test drive. There is our backup camera. We have a multi-view rear view camera. Let's see if I can get that to change views right there for you. And if you notice how the screen is blinking, that is nothing to do with Honda. That is everything to do with the shutter speed of my GoPro. And before we get out on the road for the test drive, let's go through the driving modes because I'm sure you're probably curious to know what those are. We have Econ, we have Snow mode, and then we go up here to normal mode. You do have the graphics that go with everything. And last but not least, you have Sport mode. Okay, we're gonna get out for our test drive now. Officially, I promised you we were gonna do that. No more delays, right? Where I show you driving modes or anything. We're gonna get out on the road here that I like to drive on during these test drives for a very specific reason, and that's because this road gives a good example of what the road noise is like. And before anybody gets in the comment section and says, well, that's what a decibel meter is for, that doesn't matter. That just gives you a number. People are going to have varying opinions on what they think a reasonable amount of road noise is, what is acceptable and what is not. A number can't tell you that. So I'm going to be quiet for a few seconds and let you listen. Okay, now a lot of people are likely going to say, wow, that's a lot of road noise. I can hear a lot of wind. Keep in mind, there's a couple of things to consider here. Number one, the condition of this road. It is not good. It's very washboarded out. It's a rough road. It gives a good example of how well this CR-V rides. It has a very smooth ride quality. The comfortable interior accents that. But also, there's nothing here to drown out any noise whatsoever. The radio's not on. The fan speed for the air conditioner is on low because obviously that's not going to help the audio quality for you as you listen and watch the video. And I don't have anyone to talk to. I'm not on the phone. None of that. So it really is quite impressive, actually. I drive this road on a regular basis, and in my daily driver, it's a whole different experience. It's a much louder experience. And so I think Honda's done a very good job here as far as this model goes. What about overall ride quality? I did kind of touch on that just a little bit. It's actually very impressive. The ride quality is really good, smooth, comfortable. I know a lot of people are likely to say, and I don't disagree with you, that cloth seats seem a little outdated in this day and age. Yeah, probably so, but they're here. And one thing about that is the fact that the cloth seats are going to cut down on the price of the vehicle to some degree. I couldn't say how much because I haven't researched that, but that is the case. So some people are going to care about that, some people are not. Got a nice comfortable leather wrapped steering wheel here. Good handling characteristics, a nice tight turning radius. A very easy vehicle to maneuver around if you live in a really big city with tight parking, with a lot of traffic. This CR-V, while it's a little bigger than the previous generation, it's not a lot. I gave you those measurements earlier in the video as far as the overall changes to length and width and all that kind of stuff. It's still a very versatile vehicle. Easy to get around. It handles great. It really has a lot of benefits. And the interior is comfortable. That's a good thing. The seats themselves for me are comfortable. It would be nice to go on a nice long road trip to maybe have a press vehicle that I could drive for a while and say for sure what it would be like in a long-term situation. But as far as what I'm experiencing here on the test drive, it's not too bad. And the technology is easy to learn. I touched on that just a little bit earlier in the video, but for those of you who are still saying to yourself, man, I've held off long enough, I can't wait any longer, I have to get a new vehicle, but I'm terrified of all this technology that these vehicles have these days. How hard is it to learn? With Honda, it's no big deal. Very simplified, easy to learn, easy to use. You won't have a problem here. There's other vehicles I can't say that about. So if you're looking for a CR-V or some Honda of any sort, all of the technology in the Hondas is very easy to learn and very easy to use. So overall, an enjoyable driving experience here with the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport. So is the 2023 Honda CR-V Hybrid Sport the most usable and versatile SUV in its class? Tell me what you think down in the comments section and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I'm always curious to read your comments. Gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Holmes Honda for loaning me this CR-V Hybrid Sport for the day. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn about other vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.